We go on an adventure.
Adventure, the thing I
Thingamajigger is up and away. Here we go on an adventure. Trying to make sure all this goes to plan. With Bill, it's very rare, but it's cool. Alright. Hello and welcome, dear patrons, to Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. I am your storyteller, Sinspeaks, and today we shall be continuing the tale of shifting fates. Come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. Now, I am slightly sick still, unfortunately, so one of my nostrils is slightly clogged, so I probably won't be tippity-top of awesome voices and stuff. Whoop, wait, no, stop that. Sorry. My phone was going off.
While I set my chair aside before it starts creaking.
What was that?
So excuse me while I set my chair aside before it starts creaking.
But I won't be, unfortunately, a tippity-top of voices and speaks and words and shit. But I will do my best. So last episode, y'all talked with Marigold, found out that she was a a true blood elf. So she had the mark. She was apparently abandoned, or more accurately, dumped into the slums and wants hefty amounts of revenge. She is planning on overthrowing the entirety of the Citadel. She was planning on it once the army started marching, but you guys had mentioned that Bill was able to go before the army started marching, even when there was a large quantity, and destabilize that area, so her plans shifted to a little bit before the armies marched up to their death, which is probably a good plan, which is in about probably three and a half-ish months from now. Probably closer to 3 at the moment. And then you guys have also are planning to fake Oliver's death in some way, shape, or form, so that Rumia's father doesn't get suspicious in any way, shape, or form. You guys are planning on talking to Mrs. Claus to teleport all the way over to Cicadia. And as you guys are on your last day-long downtime, Oliver is mixing up the cure for the disease. Averin is inside of the bar watching over a few odds and ends. Eleonora is helping Oliver, as well as pretty much being a bartender and waitress, and kind of enjoying her time for possibly the last time in a while. And Bill's decided that he wants to go and talk to the Elder Paladin.
Never said it was a smart plan. It was a plan.
It is a fantastic plan. Hold on just a moment. Save. Come along to watch us play some Shifting Fates and watch Bill. That's your name. Bill meet
science guy.
Paladin. What? Okay, so you're pretty much escaping the same way that you did last time, right?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay. So you just start going through the motions. You were told that it's in the Citadel's highest point. Now, you may be an idiot, but it's really hard for you to miss the highest point of an area. You just keep going upwards.
Are you sure about that?
Roll me a survival. I want to see how stupid Bill is.
Well, good thing he's okay at wisdom, but I'm rolling 1, I guarantee.
God.
Yep. Getting lost again. Let's go, boys.
Alright, so it was really hard to not go upwards when you are only aware that you have to go upward. Going upwards is the only proper trajectory that you've ever been told in your entire life. Just go up. Unfortunately...
His head can only go so far up.
Hi, Piranha. Yeah, unfortunately, going up, you aren't really sure what that means, per se, aside from maybe some rooftops. So, your first course of action is to start climbing a building.
Come on. Curse you, tiny hands.
Now, unfortunately, you do have very low strength, so feel free to roll me a strength roll. Wow.
I climb bad.
You desperately are trying to claw and climb your way upward. You are trying to every degree possible to force yourself to go in the only direction that you were told, which is climbing a goddamn building. Unfortunately, your arms are made of rubber. You're getting over probably being drunk a couple of days prior, and you're very tired because it's nighttime. At least probably it's nighttime. And so you're trying to climb. Your tiny wiggle arms are wiggling around, and you make a lot of noise. Roll me a flat d20 if you would.
Low roll day. Let's go, boys.
Wow. All right. Shockingly, you're making an ungodly quantity of noise. But everyone around you, all the soldiers and stuff, all wearing heavy armor. You aren't even making a tenth of the noise people running around you are making. So
When you fail at stealth, but everyone else is having a competition for who can make the most noise.
exactly.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, and so essentially, you're trying desperately to climb. You're trying to go upwards. You're flailing around. Boxes are falling around you, shattering on the ground. You are jumping on top of a barrel, and you sink into the barrel. And someone looks into the area and it's like, "What was that noise?" And I don't see anything as you're attempting to claw your way out. And they're like, "All right, cool." And they run around the corner, and you claw your way out of the barrel and slam your head against the ground. That's the most noise you can make and the most incompetent people around you.
The going up isn't working. I'm going forwards now. Forget climbing up. I'll walk the hill. I will walk forward up the hill. Wait a minute. Forward up. Doesn't make sense. Just forward the hill. Thank you. There we go.
Just forward the hill.
Yes.
Oh my god. Alright, so you start going around the same path that you took to get to Ellie's mother. What is your survival skill rating thing?
What's my... That's the wrong thing. What is my augmentation to it? It's a +1.
Ah.
11.
Alright, cool. So it takes you a while. You're attempting to remember where the path that you took previously, the methods and motions that you went through before. Unfortunately, you're going purely off of muscle memory because your tiny brain just isn't getting it. So you're going along this path. It's taking much longer than you had done previously. And you're just kind of going along the motions, slipping into tiny cracks, popping out of it, having absolutely no idea where you actually are, popping into another crack, popping out of it, vaguely seeing the giant tower residing, I guess, kind of to your north. But eventually you do make it all the way past where the training areas were. It's probably... like 6-7 p.m. at this point, and so the day is starting to dwindle down ever so slightly. It's still like full sun, but as it gets closer to midnight, the sun starts to go further and further down. So it's starting to get a little bit darker, not by much, but just a little bit, as you finally do reach the Citadel's highest point, which actually, let me move the map real quick. Citadel. This is probably the scene. Yeah. So you're around up here. You're almost at the very tippity top of the Citadel's point. There is quite a large door in front of you, very obviously locked, but for you that will not matter. But you are facing down this door. What would you like to do?
Enter the room.
All right. So you slide through the crack. Considering it's such a large door and considering it has been weathered over time, finding a crack inside the door is not a difficult task. And so you go through the door, and as you're looking into the room, you see it essentially looks like a cathedral's massive open area. It has some stained windows up top. It looks absolutely stunning, made possibly of marble or like weirdly shaped stone. In any way, shape, and form, it echoes very loudly. It's very, very pretty and absolutely stunningly beautiful. And there's also a fuck massive table in the middle of the area that looks like it has 5 chairs around it, as well as stairways on the left and right. They circle all the way upwards, probably around a story upwards. It's a long staircase.
Hello!
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Bill is not smart, remember this.
That is true. I have honestly no idea. Yeah, okay, so your hello echoes through the room. There's currently no reply, although you do hear what looks like a shift from above you. It's not very noticeable shift for the most part, but the room does echo exceedingly, so it sounds kind of like metal plating moving like an inch or so.
I walk up the stairs, man. This place is spooky.
So you start going up the stairs. Your feet click and clack. I mean, it's loud as shit as you're walking up there. But you go all the way upwards. It takes you probably like 10 minutes or so to get all the way up the stairs. It's long stairs. And you finally reach the top of it. And like you go up the stairs and there's no door up there, but there is a railing, probably to prevent people from just fucking off onto the stairs and falling off. But you do reach the top of it. And you see at the very, very top is this absolutely fucking massive hunk of steel. Like there is like full plate armor, giant, probably 10-foot sword in its sheath leaning against the wall. The guy himself is probably around 14 feet tall, but he's sitting down at the moment, so he's more like probably 7 or 8. His entire body is clad in plate mail, possibly even tougher than plate mail. You're not entirely sure, especially considering your intelligence. But he's beefy, and he's the only thing in this entire room. You're not even entirely sure how he gets down those stairs, but yeah, he's just kind of sitting there, his head like kind of tilted downwards. He's leaning against the... Hi, Aurora. Aurora, I need you... Sorry, that's my kiddo. Hi, honey. Ow. Alright, hold on a second. I gotta close my door. Ooh, my ears.
you couldn't close that door any faster.
And I locked it. Okay.
I'm just
Sorry about
imagining
that,
you
ladies and
just
gentlemen.
like closing. Just imagining you closing the door like the slowest way possible, making dead eye contact.
She was a very loud child. Very fun child, but very loud child. She's trying to jimmy my door again, but it's not working this time. Haha, gotcha, bitch.
Did you figure out how to keep her from opening the door this time around?
Yeah. She did move the lock slightly, but not enough to jimmy it this time. Anyways, so yeah, you like are fucking an ant compared to this giant man, as he's just kind of sitting against the wall, his head slumped a little bit. His sword looks almost dusty from lack of use, as he's just kind of leaning against the wall, almost looking like he's asleep.
Hello?
Let's see if he notices your tiny existence.
Hello?
You see the giant frame slowly start to move upwards. You can hear the metal creaking, almost as if it, from lack of use, it hasn't. It's like, I don't actually know if Mel does this, but I think it does. But essentially, it's like creaking as his head starts to move upwards. The metal rubbing against the other forms of metal as his head simply looks directly at you. No words yet.
Hi.
Pure silence.
You don't say much, do you?
Like a loud rumble through the room of like a almost non-committal grunt from him.
Bill just casually walks in, just tap, 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 tap.
Tippity tap 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 tippy tippity tap 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 tip.
So you're the Elder Paladin, yeah?
He slowly nods his head.
Are you normally alone in here?
Again, very slow nod of his head.
Do you get lonely?
He like almost tilts his head at you for a second.
What? That's a normal question, I think.
The head just stays tilted.
When was the last time somebody visited you? Or you
The
moved?
the head seems to tilt further. Like it's not understanding what you mean.
Hey, don't, that looks like that hurts. Don't tilt it further. You may break something.
He slowly realigns his head upwards.
There we go. Pulling muscles would be bad, especially if you haven't moved in a while. But how long have you been up here by yourself?
When was the last fight?
I don't know.
Nor do I. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Bill. I don't have no title or nothing. Just Bill. I heard about you and I was curious. So I walked here, I guess. Zooped. What would be a good term? I don't have one yet.
Interesting.
But I heard you didn't move from this place and I was curious, I guess.
I am not permitted to leave
Who said you couldn't
Only.
leave?
for battle.
Uh-oh.
I am a sword, a weapon. That is all.
Do you eat?
No,
Why not?
I do not require sustenance.
Bill kind of just sits there and stares at him for a second. Bill gets kind of close and just like, do you ever enjoy a drink?
Which kind?
Alcohol?
No,
What about water?
no.
Grape juice?
He kind of like tilts his head again at you.
Why?
What
I'm allowed
is
to be
this grape juice, you say?
You've never had grape juice, oh my. It's
No.
a berry that grows on a vine. You can find it out in the wilderness sometimes. And you can crush it into something. Have you ever had wine?
No.
Yeah, well, it's the unfermented version of that. And it's a healthy drink. It helps people build stuff and it tastes good.
I do not require such trivial interests.
Is it trivial?
He kind of just doesn't move.
It just kind of sits there and like stares at him. You're definitely lonely. Not a person visiting. You don't move unless it's for battle. And I'm probably the first conversation you've had in a lot of years.
I do not talk to those I kill. I fight, and then I leave. I follow orders. Nothing more. Nothing less.
Whose orders?
The council.
Are you sure they're doing something actually worth fighting for?
Paylor says to follow their orders. I do not question his rule.
And when was the last time Paylor spoke to you?
When did the battles start?
200 years ago?
200 years ago.
At least that's what everyone keeps telling me.
Then that is when he last spoke. That is when he gave me my standing order. Follow their orders. Do what they say. And so I do.
Oh. That's gonna be fun. Interesting. Do you have any friends?
What is a friend?
You know, someone you talk to, maybe drink something with once in a blue moon if you're feeling it. Someone who curves the boredom.
I talk to you now. Are you a friend?
I can be.
Hmm.
I'm definitely no foe. I don't think I'd be a very entertaining fight.
No.
I lack strength. and you seem to have it in balance if you're moving. Or unable to move? Can you move?
I can.
Well, seems like you've never enjoyed certain things. And I am curious about your story.
My story.
Yes.
It has
After
been a
all-
long time.
After all, every dead person has a story, right?
I
Every
don't
living
know
one
if
does
I'm
too.
dead or alive.
Yeah, it's not for me to decide. That's for, I guess, the spirits too, if they so incline. They say a lot about you, but none of it makes any sense. People call you demon. They wonder if you're even alive or dead.
I have slain many foes on the battlefield. It is my duty. It is my orders. Retreating
Well,
has always been confusing to me.
Why is that?
In the last 30 years that I have been consistently fighting, every war, every battle, I fight. And then, before the battle is done, I get told to retreat. I get told to go back here. But the battle is not over. So I do not know why.
Well, we'll look around for a few chairs.
There is nothing in this room at all.
Well,
It is probably the most boring room that you've ever seen in your entire life, aside from maybe a barn.
Could sit on your bag.
That is a wonderful idea. As Bill just pops his bag down, sits on top of it, and just starts rummaging. Well, if you're looking for something to do, as Bill
We should take him with us.
pulls out his flask, his normal one, not the super strong one.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. As he looks for a cup in his bag. I haven't used a cup in a long time.
Roll me a d20. You randomly scavenge shit, so yeah. You have a normal person size cup. Bit too big for you.
There we go. Found it. Take a seat. Sit down.
He stares at you as his sitting form just doesn't move.
Good enough. As Bill pops it open, pours here.
He reaches out one hand, and the sound of creaking metal is very clear as dust shifts off his armor as he moves one hand forwards and just gently grasps the edge of the cup with 2 fingers before moving it back.
Take a drink.
He moves his other hand, and each of his movements, you've noticed, are extremely slow. They are movements of someone who either has not moved in ages or just recovered from a coma. As he moves his hand ever slowly upwards. It probably takes him at least 30 seconds to get from the floor all the way up to his head before he takes off, grabs his helmet and slowly lifts it before moving it forwards and down and taking his drink and moves upwards. You can see that his face, it looks human for the most part. He does look somewhat human. It looks like he's missing one eye as there's a massive gash on his right side. That's just from hairline all the way down to chin is just a giant gash that looks like it never truly healed. It just kind of stopped bleeding. So there's a giant mark inside of his head. He has a bunch of other different scars, most tiny, and his hair seems to be almost a buzz cut as he lifts the cup upwards towards his lips and slowly drinks it before slowly moving it down back to you and slowly placing his helmet back on.
Well, huh.
Interesting.
Never had alcohol before?
A long, long time ago.
Well, there you go. It's no fun to be alone, I think. And if you've been in here for 30 years, dear heavens. So you're, what, an avatar?
Something like that. Long time ago, I was a worshipper of Pelor, the god above. And he came to me and asked me if I would like to have power, if I would like to fulfill his dream of paradise. And I said yes. So he gave me this power, this form. He gave me all of this and simply said, follow his orders when he gave them. So I traveled far and wide, saved people, helped people, killed people. And then he told me, follow the council's orders, fight in the war, kill the orcs, bring about paradise. And so I have, and so shall it be done.
I see. Do you regret any of it?
No. Why would I regret bringing paradise to those that require it? Those that wish they could stop the pain.
Bill kind of just sits there for a second. You haven't looked outside in a long time, have you?
It has been a while. The war has yet to finish. Pain still renders far.
Well, the problem that you're facing, at least I see, is that you aren't looking outside your own window. You're looking too far away. Do you have a window here?
No. It's a very dark room, by the way.
Is there a window anywhere in here?
He kind of looks upwards, and you can see, like, at the very, very, very top of the building is a single small window that has the light, like, moving at a very harsh angle. So there's... It almost looks like Twilight's in the room, as he, like, kind of looks up towards it.
That won't do.
The war has not
Make a hole.
finished.
Bill doesn't have that kind of power.
The war has yet to finish. So paradise has yet to be found.
Paradise won't be found if the war finishes.
Hmm.
Because people are still gonna do bad things. People are gonna die, people are gonna get hurt. The spirits cry out, I think. They seem unhappy to me. You go to the Midlands and no one seems unhappy, but no one seems happy either.
He just kind of remains silent at that.
I wish I could show you the outside, but I'll do my best to explain the best way I know how. As I would like to use fairy fire, but I would like to use it in a very interesting way if you would permit it.
Oh?
So
I'm very
fairy fire
curious.
is like blue, green, and violet light.
Yeah, if you want, post it in the chat.
Yeah. So it does that.
Mm-hmm.
Just technically, not trying to cast a spell. Hold on. How do I post this in chat?
Mm-hmm. I posted already.
I thought I thought for a moment, it's like Bill just like solemnly is like, I'll show you in the best way I know how. Pulls out bagpipes.
Well, he is a bard. However, Bill needs to be able to talk.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Alright, cool.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like Bill to be able to attempt to use fairy fire to like invoke imagery via light, and like
I love that.
using the light because it's a dark room,
Mm-hmm.
and using the light to attempt to tell him the story of what's going on outside of his room.
You are exceedingly proficient in spellcasting, at least something of this level, and so I would absolutely allow you to do so.
Well, as Bill begins to cast, don't mind this. This shouldn't do anything to either of us at the moment. As Bill starts like drawing with the lights, currently outside of the citadel is the slums. A lot of people are suffering there. Even though the light reaches, the people in this power, specifically the general and the council, have abandoned them to an illness. There's a brave group of people, a strong elven woman, who was abandoned by the general of this country. A tiefling man, I don't know exactly if that's the correct word, but he has horns and he's red, who's attempting to cure the disease. But under recent events, due to their small, not so smart but brave companion, finding documents of the council's and the general's cohesion to attempt to poison people for their own gain. Palor, from what I understand, speaks very little. However, the elf in that party is in contact with them, if not both them and another, possibly the enemy of Palor. They've traveled far and wide, and a few of them have seemed to gone through a few things. Another elf has also been back and forth within the group, connected to the general as well, though the general seems to not care for either of his kids. The slums are an awful place, full of death and disease. People just waiting to die and or abandoned by their so-called countrymen. Deeper is a area of mass fungal infection, I guess you could say. Mushrooms. They live to protect themselves, and a man lives down there, taking apart bodies, trying to find stuff, and hiding a weapon. The general seems to have a weapon of similar nature. Neither of these men care for each other, and the general plans to use the disease that is being cultivated within the slums to kill the enemy. Instead of fighting honorably, he wishes to do it dishonorably, and to wipe them out. But in doing so, he's forsaken his own home. The world is divided into 3 major factions currently. Those that are unaligned, those that align with Palor, and what's the last one's name?
Sure.
And those that align towards Shar's ideals. The land between I come from, or at least I was raised in, spirits cry out in agony constantly. What they cry for is all different, so I can't give you an answer, but they all cry different things, but all in a cohesive mass of melody and pain. The souls here seem just as unhappy as Bill draws what he sees sometimes as sad souls, little ghost type things, but they all have angry or saddened expressions. Warriors, musicians, traveling merchants and salesmen, children, mothers, fathers, everything. Yet none of them seem happy with this war. I fear the day, as Bill draws the river of blood, that I come across this place.
The Trail of Bloody Tears.
Is that what it's called? I see it on the map, but I dare not read its name.
It is my battlefield.
How many of your comrades have fallen?
I could not count how many.
If I was given enough time, I probably could. Souls aren't leaving the world as much as people may want to think that there's some paradise that's coming, but as Bill continues to paint this picture with the fire, he paints sadness, because Bill may not be smart, but he definitely noticed the sadness in the world around him that he's
The wisdom is
experiencing.
rather high, so
Yeah. As Bill finishes the painting at the end, and it's the world, the current affairs, the sadness, the distrust, and everything Bill's seen up to the point, not just from active travel, but from when he was first entering a village, people selling and buying. This is the current world as I have seen. The things I have learned through moving and being a little bit more stealthy, but observing. Is this what you want? Because this is where we're going.
he slowly reaches over with his left hand. And it's, again, very slow movements for this man. You can see as he's turning his body, dust is just shifting off of him in waves. A lot of it flowing over towards you. But he reaches over and grabs his sword before moving it back over to his lap and placing it down. Then he grabs the handle, and you can see as he grabs his handle that it's the handle is almost molded to his hand shape at this point. It is a fluid and consistent hand movement from decades of battle as he slowly pulls it out. It's a long sword. This thing is at least 8 feet tall. At least, as he pulls it all the way out. And you can see, you with your fairy fire out, his sword is not the color of steel. This sword looks like it has been through decades of blood. This sword has been stained the color of death. Normally that would be really bad for a sword because of rust and everything like that. But even you can feel that there is a magical, it's a magical weapon, as he then places it next to his sheath. And so even though the weapon itself should be rusted over or brittle, because you can feel the magical potent energy in it, it is very likely that the weapon itself is fine, and everything on top is essentially just like almost burned into the weapon itself. And so it looks as if it has been splattered and sprayed with all kinds of blood, and it is not a pleasant sight as he simply puts it down next to his scabbard. I will kill you, you fucking fly.
Oh god.
Goodness.
The timing of that was too good, but not on purpose. The shitting fly popped up in front of me. I'm like, I won't kill you. I would kill you, you bitch.
Oh, man, one second.
No, okay. Sorry, I
Oh,
wasn't expecting.
Christ. Oh my god.
Forgot how to breathe.
Anyways.
Remind me to, after the stream's over, come back and clip that.
Such a cool moment that fuck you. Anyways. So he places it down in front of his sheath. As he's like looking at both of them. You can see that the sheath is extremely ornate as well. It looks like an absolutely stunningly beautiful sword. Aside from the rivers of blood that have stained and marked it, almost in runic form in some areas. I have heard many tales. I have seen many disasters. I have fought in a war that has killed more than you could possibly count, child. This sword has taken more lives than the spirits that follow you. Some have been good. Most have been bad. I have put my faith in Pelor. As far as that will take me. The stories you tell are interesting indeed, and they fill my long, cold heart with melancholy, sadness. But I was told by my God that if I were to win this war, he shall take over. He shall create paradise, using all of his powers, as Shar will bow down to him. He kind of gestures to some of the pictures he created of the merchants in the slums. These are horrifying moments. These are times that I have personally witnessed, and I have even slammed this blade through some of those merchants you have talked about. They were not good deeds, as I am not a good person. But if I am to win this war, the ends will justify the means. Pelor shall turn each and every single one of these crying, poor, unfortunate fellows into a paradise that they choose. He shall bring about, using all of his godly powers, hope and happiness, changing the slums, cleaning the mushrooms, fixing the world that we have carved a bloody scar into. We are not God's child. We are simply living. We cannot possibly understand everything that he could do. I do not like this war. I do not like the sadness. I do not like the pain and the hopelessness. I do not like that the Citadel Council members forsake their own, or that the slums is a hellhole. However, if I can fix all of that by slaughtering a species, he grabs his sword and slowly sheathes it again, then none shall live. And puts his sword on next to him again in its usual position as he leans back and just kind of stares at you.
Bill kind of stares at him, his face unchanging. Looks like the spirits were not wrong. Never are, but, you know, so much noise this time around. I wonder how much longer they're going to pull at your back, though.
I do not know. This war needs to end. They have held me back so many times, extending the war, making it longer, making more suffer. You see that, like, you can hear his tone change a bit when he says that, and you can feel the anger that radiates off of him for just a few moments before his body just kind of, the anger just kind of stops. And he's like, but it will end soon. If it does not, then I shall end it myself. Retreat is only an option when you have no others.
There will never be a retreat. Bill changes the fairy fire into his party members, looks this man dead in the eye and goes, because we will stop both sides.
He kinda, you can almost feel the eyebrow raise. Like, he's in his plate helmet, but you can almost feel the eyebrow raise as he, like, looks at you.
Bill looks this man, his brow furrowed. You know, I always wondered why the person who brought me up gave me this college, taught me what I know now. I don't know what he was after, but I do know this for certain. That whatever he's done, he did to learn and pass it on to me. The souls grab at you, but they empower me. They empower people. Oliver, the tiefling doctor who wants to prevent this bloody war because his village was torn apart and was hurt. He has purpose, I think. A woman who I know very little about, sadly, yet. But she uses a frying pan and also wants to stop the war by any means. I know very little about my party fully, because I haven't asked a lot of questions, as to each their own in my eyes. I came here today to learn why you had yours. So from the sounds of it, you were lonely. You are lonely. I don't believe in Palor, I don't believe in Shara either. I believe that the spirits have retributions that need to be taken. The disasters in front of me do not faze me. They do not anger me. They don't even make me sad or upset. Because I don't think it'll end just because you kill someone. I don't think your bloody crusade will ever end if you continue on your path. I'm about to do something very mean to people. I'm about to do something awful, I think. But I do so serenely knowing that it's going to be good. Even if it's bad. I understand that. I think you and I see similarly on that front. That we're willing to do bad things if it means good outcomes. I'm not your enemy. I don't want to think of you as my enemy because I see myself and you in a lot of ways. Years of loneliness and sitting there contemplating what you're doing. While I found mine at the bottom of a drink, you've seemed to have found yours in the bottomless blood that you've spilt. For a purpose that you claim to find because someone ordered you to. But I think your soul's still there. I think I still see it, even if it's tattered and worn. What is your name? What is your actual name?
He kind of, like, he looks at you almost like full staring before he just kind of leans himself backwards. Instead of his weird slunched over head down position, he leans backwards and he rests his head against the wall, staring upwards at the small light that is piercing through the upper window. In a very soft voice, he simply says, "You are a fascinating child. Truly fascinating. I have never met one such as you in all of my time traveling. Maybe if I had, things might have changed.
Maybe, but I didn't get this way because I wanted to. I became this way because of the world that you're trying to create. So be thankful for all the effort you've put in. At the very least, because it led you to me.
I think, with your words you have said, the war has gone on for too long. I am tired. Very tired.
Well,
With your words, I have decided. I will end this war in the next battle. I will not stop until paradise has been achieved. Thank you, child.
you're welcome, but I will do everything
My
in
name.
my power.
Hmm?
What is your name?
My name is Avalon. One has called me the Destroyer. One has called me the Peacebringer. One has called me the Knight in Armor. But all have once referred to me as the War Seeker. Even in my childhood, I always sought to fight. I thought it would make me strong, and it did. But has hurt many people. I will end this war next battle. I will not stop until it ends, regardless of if the council tells me to retreat, or even if Baelor himself should do so. If he wishes to smite me down, so be it. I will slaughter every single warrior until his dream comes true.
Okay.
This
I've got
war
one
will
last.
end.
Well, I definitely have one last thing for
What
you.
is that?
Bill gathers up the light of the fairy fire as he paints one last picture with it. He paints himself. He paints
Oh.
his master, and he paints day and night. I'm Bill. Avalon, I don't think I could call you any of those things, because I don't see that.
Hmm.
I will simply call you the Lonely.
Then the lonely I shall be.
But I don't want you to be. Regardless if you remember things or not. I know I don't remember certain things that eats at me constantly. I don't remember bits and pieces of my master's face. I don't remember what I was supposed to be taught, but it eats at me constantly. It's an odd feeling, but I think a feeling we share of that loneliness that sits with us, you know? In your final battle, if you plan to kill an entire race, as your friend, I will stop you. Not because I want to hurt you, but because I simply disagree with the killing of an entire people. Because you don't get rid of a people, you get rid of a history. I don't think Palor has your best interest in mind either. I don't think either of these fools that call themselves gods have the best interest of man at heart. The spirits cry out, yet they ignore their cries. There's a group of people who wants to stop them. Not because they hate their idea of a peaceful and loving place, but because the way they do it is only hurting people. I
You
seek no
said that your
hatred.
team was going to end the war before it began. For
That's our
the
goal.
fight started.
That's the goal. And if we can't, I won't blame you for doing what you need to do.
If you can prevent the next battle from starting, I will lay down my blade. If you cannot, you may be met at the tip of it.
And well, if I do end up meeting you at the tip of it, Bill gives him a giant grin. I hope you can at least be satisfied with what I try to offer at the time.
If you can bring about the reality that I choose to perceive, then you will do something that no one has done for 200 years, child. It will be very impressive. I am a warrior. That is all that I am. I do not seek to do much else. I do not seek to watch much else. I am not one who thinks very deeply about mysteries, or stories, or investigations. I throw myself into a battle and I keep fighting until there is nothing left. If you can prevent that from starting, my blade will forever rest. I wish to see paradise. I wish to see happiness. And if you can prevent this war, these poor souls from dying, that is all I wish for as well. If you cannot, then I will take matters into my own hands, the only way I know how.
I think that's pretty agreeable.
Hmm.
Oh, I asked this quite politely. If the council asks you to do something related to the slums, please do not act. Rest yourself, for the slums is not your enemy. They seek the same paradise you do. They just want to make
Palor
sure.
told me to follow the council's orders in relations to the war in his own paradise. The slums is not part of those orders. The slums is not my target.
Well, that's good. Well, regardless, I'll probably end up seeing you in, I think, Bill counts on his fingers, 3 months.
He slowly nods at you.
As Bill pulls out like 2 things of beer. Have a drink once in a while. Yeah, I doubt you can get drunk, but don't forget the sensation of something other than standing there.
He slowly
If you
reaches out his hand and grabs the 2 bottles, which, considering he's not breaking the bottles, is honestly quite impressive considering his size and very obvious muscle, as he just gently places them next to him and puts his hand back into its normal position. Thank you, friend.
You're welcome. Well, as Bill kind of picks up his bag, I love the idea of this itty bitty Kenku been sitting on his bag this entire time. Picks it up. I gotta figure out a way out of here. I'm pretty sure my time's up on this coat. I'm pretty sure I can feather fall my way back into the slums.
Good luck.
Thank you. Oh, and hopefully you find peace. As Bill kind of starts prancing out of the room, kind of like tap, 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 as just he's going.
As you start going out of the room, you can see him go back to his previous position that you first found him in, as it looks like it's almost like a dormant state of his, as he just kind of goes back into that position. But you start leaving. I assume, based on your statement of Featherfall, you're planning on just jumping off the fucking side of the area.
Just
You know, fair enough.
Featherfall.
Wee, wee, wee. Yeah, you just fucking fall all the way down. And you eventually get to the bottom, back into the slums, sliding back into that little crevice of the door. No one really notices you, even at the quarantine area. Pretty much just because they don't care enough to be like on constant watch, as it's quarantined. Who the hell is going to escape it? Aside from apparently a fucking bird that they have no idea what is.
Bird is very confusing.
Just like bird is the word, and they're like, what the fuck? And you just squeeze the gap, and they're like, what the fuck? But yeah, so you return, and the day goes on. As we said previously, Oliver is fixing up the cure. Eleonora is having one last day of actually being in the bar, kind of like one last day of normalcy. Averin's trying to get a little bit more information, probably from Tommy, or, pickpocketing people, or putting on a show and proceeding to continue pickpocketing people, as we mentioned last episode. So the day... Yeah. So the day goes on, and the night goes on, and eventually the next morning comes around, and Oliver, your cure, to the best of your knowledge so far, is workable for human trials. So I assume you try using it on Faye at this point?
I suppose she's probably the best option as it stands. So again, I have, or in addition to the treatment I've developed, I have also added in a little bit of the Lesser Restoration potion I've been working on.
Very nice, very nice.
To try and be just as a basic, a little extra help on the side.
Nice. So you give her some of it, and it does seem that at least like some of her blue veins that were starting to like stretch up towards her neck, they seem to have halted. After you've given her it, they seem to halted, and it seems to be slowly going down. It's definitely not going to be a fast process, but it does seem like it is working, at least the best that you can tell. It's at least not advancing anymore.
That much is a good start. Alright, I'm looking at that. Alright, I'm just going to quickly copy down the formula for that.
Nice.
I feel this is probably going to be necessary for whoever's going to wind up having to distribute this, because it sounds like I'm going to have to be making a move on pretty darn quickly.
Faye gives you kind of like a smile. It's a very, not necessarily a forced smile, but it's kind of like a tense smile. And she says, "Thank you, Tiefling. I had my doubts about you originally, but the stories definitely do not do at least you justice."
I get that all the time. Believe me.
I'm sorry for what you must endure.
Well, you keep pushing forward. That's all there really is to it. Besides, at the end of the day, I should probably be thanking you for this one.
Oh,
After all, I mean, I did wind up making this creation off of examinations of the saliva sample you gave me. Believe me, I probably wouldn't have been able to pull this off without that. I'll just leave it as you're probably the most willing patient I've ever had with this infection.
Well, when death is on your doorstep, you tend to be very willing.
You would think so. Most of the other patients proceed to practically burn down my front door when they start having symptoms.
Well, I've gotten used to a long time ago, learning how to change my emotions on a dime.
I think a lot of people could learn from that. Honestly, myself included in that regard.
Never change, Tiefling. I think you are the only source of good I've seen for many years. Well, except for Rowena.
That's concerning, but if you say so.
She's difficult to deal with some days, but she does truly mean well.
I didn't necessarily mean that part, but yes, she definitely does mean well, from what I've been able to see. I find it a little unnerving that I seem to be the nicest face you've seen in that long.
Yeah, a lot of folks inside the Citadel try to be good, but many of them are bargainers, many of them are merchants who try to find the cheapest price, and many of the higher members, such as the military, well, they're just focused on winning the war at the moment, following the Citadel's orders. Can't quite be the nicest people when you're only interested in slaughtering the other side.
In my experience with war, generally, he tells me everyone in between, he usually gets a few blades to the throat as well.
Mm-hmm.
You might say I don't exactly have the greatest views of wars. No offense.
None taken. War is something I don't like either. It's difficult, tiring. Famine is a constant. And pain. You see like a very sad look go across her face. Pain is something that everyone must endure.
Unfortunately, just as looking down. But end of the day, the only thing we can really do is keep on pushing forward and try and make it better for tomorrow through what we can do as individuals. And yes, I know how cliche that is to say.
Sometimes cliche statements are the most useful.
Just sits there, looks like he wants to refute it, and is trying to come up with an argument, but it seems to be failing in that regard.
Oh yeah. And then the rest of your team, Bill comes back probably several hours before the day ends. I assume you just kind of go into your room and take a nap, Bill?
Bill walks in, and his first statement is, "The High Paladin is a very lonely individual," and then he walks to his room.
Do you want to continue that? Oh, okay. I guess he's going to sleep. Sounds
He
about
walks
right.
into the room, looks at... What was his name?
Tommy?
No, the guy, the imp, whatever the heck we have.
Oh, the kobold?
Oh, the,
Micah.
Micah.
Thank you. He looked, because Micah, you said Micah was in his room.
Yeah,
He
Micah
looks at
hasn't left your room.
He looks at Micah hands him a beer, and
Oh my God.
passes out.
Oh no.
Micah just kind of looks at the beer you handed him, looks back at you sleeping on the bed now, looks at the beer, he's just like, do I drink this? See how his intelligence is faring. I'll wait until he wakes up to ask if he wanted me to drink this. Maybe he wanted, like, me to do something with this. But he's sleeping now, so I can't ask him. Yeah, I'll just wait.
My bestest boy.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so time passes. Oliver has this discussion with Faye. Ellie, you, and Averin, I assume you two sleep at some point. I think you're both half elves, right? Not full elves?
Yeah, I'm a half elf.
Okay, cool. So you guys
Really?
do need proper sleep.
You had to double check that for Eleonora?
Well, I had to make
But
sure.
really, it's been like a year and a half.
It's fine. Don't worry
Anyway.
about it.
Averin only sleeps when it's like absolutely necessary. Even then, it's very light sleep.
Interesting. Okay. So the day passes. Averin gets exceedingly little sleep, which she's used to. Ellie, I assume that you get regular sleep.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
decent sleep. Woke up pissed off and feeling like being a menace to everyone because of Paylor, but it's fine.
Oh yeah, you had that fun conversation with Taylor.
Yep. That's how I
So-
slept.
Yeah, so you wake up, distinctly foul mood as you like walk out the room. Probably around this time, Oliver would have finished up with Faye. Technically, Bill's internal clock would have gone off at this point, but he can choose if he wants to stay in or walk out. And Averin's inside of the main room.
Oliver?
Hmm?
Ollie, are you awake?
Yes, what's up?
Why do you have faith in Paylor?
Fire right for the heart, Jesus.
Just hooks down with the pendant. I suppose more or less just gave me a direction or some sort of striving. And if it doesn't seem that much these days, looking back.
Well, let's just lead with our hearts and mind instead of a little pendant of coldness and nothingness.
I'm back.
Because honestly, he's just of no use and has no one. He's basically just thinking of himself. He wants to create this paradise and wonderfulness and blah 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 blah, and doesn't care for anyone's well-being but his own little crappy feelings that he doesn't actually have. Everyone's a speck to him, so why respect someone that sees you as nothing but a speck? Anyway, I had a wonderful night. How are you?
Averin claps her hands to the background, like slowly and condescendingly. Is like, congratulations, you figured it out.
Well, it's always lovely going to sleep at night in a cozy bed and having a dream where you get to talk to a god for like 8 hours on end. But on the plus side, he listens to me. I guess. Dealing with him for 22, well, an amount of years is really tiring, especially when he's a cold-hearted asshole. Anyway, Char's a lot more fun. I mean, yeah, she's creepy and everything, and a menace to society, but at least she's kind-ish in her own way. Not completely opposite from what people say about her.
Hmm.
Okay. To answer your question, I finished off the treatment yesterday, though I think I might have forgotten to tell Faye that there's a very strong chance that that's going to make her liver overactive for a couple of hours afterwards. She might wind up
Uh,
with a cramp around the gut that area in that time.
well, whose liver doesn't give out nowadays, considering the amount of alcohol consumption, especially given the information we're going to be dealing with and the war? I'm sure the alcohol sales are going to go up.
Maybe. This one, and maybe I should go and grab a drink in case this keeps up.
I would love to see you drunk again.
Yeah, I guess I don't have much of a stomach. Maybe maybe that would make it even better, honestly.
Well, yeah, honestly, alcohol on an empty stomach is a lot better than alcohol with a full stomach. It's a lot more effective.
I can't decide if that's sarcasm or if you're being serious, but I guess I'll be trying that out later on either way. If this keeps up.
Yeah.
Anyway, though,
If your alcohol hits a little harder, it's me being a menace. If it doesn't hit you as hard, it's me being kind.
Fair enough. I was actually also just about to examine the circuit here, just like midway into pouring out half of it into like another vial.
Would you like some help? I may be in a mood, but usually this mood gets stuff done. So.
You're free to. Just like pulling out the lens and then the lens cleaner.
Looks very funky.
I have had a couple of processes though it's going to be running on these.
Funky.
You're free to take your pick of either helping me get the equipment set up, or I guess you could apply some of the alcohol to this thing, just pointing over to the bowl containing a lavender-colored fluid in the back corner. And again, if you choose to add the alcohol, please be careful with that. I do not know how to replace fingers.
Well, we can try to get this arranged, because you really don't want to mix up your vials and liquids and such. And she'll just
What?
she'll just start organizing things a little bit. And making sure temperatures are good, anything bubbly is noted, making sure his notes are arranged.
Nice. So you guys get that done for a little while. Averin, you're just kind of looking at Tommy. Tommy is once again cleaning a glass before he puts it down. He just starts flipping the coin once more. Bill, are you awake at this point, or?
Good morning, world. I hate my tastes like disappointment.
Hey! Same here, Bill. I'm glad we're on the same level.
Goodness, you all
Morning,
seem to
Micah.
have Yeah.
Hmm?
Goodness, you seem all to have woken up in a strange mood.
Oh no, I'm perfectly fine.
Oh.
Yeah, my mood's mostly because talking to Paylor is not fun. But it's fine.
I mean, talking to the paladin was depressing.
I think I would rather talk to the paladin, but
I mean, he
tell
showed
us
me
more.
he showed me his sword. It was it wasn't the color of steel.
So, like, Bloodtooth's sword.
What does Bloodtooth sword look like?
Very red because of the blood he's collected over the years.
Yeah. Also, if we don't end the war before the next battle, he's going to end the war.
So
Just
instead of
nervous.
making friends, and hopefully he's on our side, which honestly, considering he works with Paylor, I'm not surprised that he'll still want to
I mean-
fight because he has such a trigger finger.
To be fair, he doesn't exactly want to fight. He just wants a paradise.
Wow.
Okay.
That sounds pretty consistent with what most of the other or followers of Phalor have been saying they're shooting for?
He just wants things to
Yep.
go well, and he's just doing his job, more or less. It's not that he
Yeah.
has bad intentions, he just doesn't know another way of going about it. He also hasn't moved in, I think, when was the last battle? 30 years ago? Something like that?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
last
no, he
battle was
hasn't.
actually 2 years ago.
I'm
Was
impressed
it
that
2
his
years
bones
ago?
still work at that rate.
He hasn't moved in like 2 years.
I'm impressed. Okay, there's a lot of things about this that I'm
I
impressed.
hope you watched where you stepped.
There was nothing on the ground. He doesn't eat or drink anything.
There.
I
How?
hit him because he's
That's
yeah, I don't know either.
honestly, Paler probably just put his life on pause just so he can live on forever until he's done with him, like the rest of his pawns. Because to Paler, we're all specs in this little game. If he doesn't succeed with this war, well then he'll just wait for the next one, and the next one, and the next one. If he needs another champion, well then he'll just wait. Currently, Shara and Paler are just waiting for me to pick one, but it's fine.
Eh,
Are
not
you
up.
okay?
Well, I kind of got in a pissy fit with Paylor and basically told him to fuck off and enjoy me while he still can. And then I woke up.
That sounds
Sorry for
like
my
a-
language. I'm
that
very tired.
That sounds like a dangerous game to be playing with a god.
Well, when it's not really that dangerous in my brain because he's had to deal with me since I was little. I'm sure 5-year-old me didn't really care for him. Because to me, he's my best friend through the years because he's the one person that actually stuck around. So. He's the reason why my fry pan has never broke.
Is
Wait,
that why
really?
it can't be
Is
used
that-
to cook?
Is that Divine Sign blessed as well?
Yeah, the fry pan is never to be. It can never break. But the issue with that is. Because, of course, with him, every blessing has to have a curse. If I cook with it, it makes people sick.
And you're certain it's still okay that I've been enhancing that?
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, in good news, uh, oh, right. The paladin won't act if we do something to the council, because he won't attack the slums.
That's reassuring. I really didn't want to add anything else to the mix.
Yeah, I think he's also getting kind of sick of them not doing their jobs and not ending the war that he really wants to end. You know, everyone calls him battle hungry. I would just call him lonely and kind of sad. Like a lost puppy.
Oh. Well, I wish we could bring him with us because, yeah, being stuck in a room and only to be brought out whenever there's a war, which is whenever they feel like their ego needs stroked. Yeah, they'd be pretty boring and lonely.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of weird. Why didn't Paylor and what's-his-face just end the war already? Kind of seems...
Shar and Paylor. It's
Yeah.
because they're both equally power hungry. And they're basically at a stalemate equal in power. So they're using the war between the orcs and humans to just feed
Elves.
off of that anger.
Orcs and elves.
Orcs and elves, wow. Yes, wrong story. Orcs and elves. But yeah, they're just watching the war go on and on and on. And eventually, they just keep saying, oh yeah, if you win this war for me, there'll be a paradise. And they say that every single time. There's really no end to it, in my opinion. They're basically waiting for one race to fully take over, and that's it. They call us specs. Well, at least Paylor does. He calls us specs, and we're doing most of the work for him. And if the elves win, then that'll be paradise for Paylor, because that means Shar will have no one on her side, because all the orcs will be killed at that point. That's the war. It just an egotistical war, and we're doing all the work for them. Because Paylor can easily take out any other god that's beneath him, but Shar and him are at equal level. Also, Ruby has opinions. So yeah, that's why the war is still happening. That's why it has been happening and continuing on. Shar lets people have their free will, free agency to do whatever they please. And Paylor likes to have control of things. And likes to keep things a certain temperature. As funny as that is.
Well,
But both sides.
So,
But both sides.
yeah. So take that as you will. But that's what I've caught on from talking to both gods.
What are you saying, Oliver?
And both sides still only seem to crave genocide for the sake of genocide at this point, it seems. At least, that's what it feels like, regardless of what it seems like they're saying.
Yeah, because with Paylor, if the war were to stop, he'll just wait for it to start again.
Thank you.
So in other words, the only way out is to find a way to silence both if they're both just going to goad either side into a war, or if it actually does come to an end naturally.
Yep.
Great.
would this be an opportunity to just kill them both? Is this one of those moments where that is actually acceptable?
Yeah.
The problem I've often heard about with regards to gods is that they're basically just aspects of reality. What happens if you kill an aspect of reality?
That's when you replace the aspect of reality with something else. But we don't want an equality god. Really, there's no god that's any better or any worse. That's why you go with the lesser of evils, which, in my opinion, at this point would be Shar, is the lesser of the two evils. But in any case, they both have their goods and bads, but we'll see where it goes.
What are you saying, Bill?
I mean, are they actually aspects of reality, though? Are you sure that's not something they just say to get people to listen to them?
I thought that was just the nature of a god in general.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, they are a being of sorts, because those two towers that we've passed by twice now, they put their power into those towers, basically.
Their physical realm abilities.
Yes, that explanation.
Bill deadpan looks at you, pulls out his bagpipes. I am a god then, for I just pulled out this bagpipes from my bag. It is a showing of my physical abilities.
I mean, if anyone tried hard enough, anyone could be a god. Heck, this third aura of mine could be a god of sorts, just waiting for the two of them to stop fighting so it can take over. Who knows? Really, we have no idea what could take course from this point. We're just guessing.
Why is everything gonna be complicated?
Yeah. But
Grog likes simple.
We have to somehow talk to the orcs into not fighting which means we have to get to know the orcs and be on equal terms and level with them, and to be with Big Mama. With which Bill, you get to be. I'm gonna bite off my tongue. Which Bill, you get to meet Big Mama. You will absolutely love her, and she might just pick you up and put you on her shoulder.
Can I have a fight
She's
of
like-
morals with her?
Yes,
probably-
you can try.
I think she'd be the one most I think she'd be the one that you'd have the easiest time convincing to have that sort of thing with, considering she doesn't seem particularly interested in fighting.
Cool.
Also, there's an orc there that always loses at poker games, betting games. So,
Avrin!
Yeah.
We found someone you can steal from.
let's not steal from people we're trying to make comrades with until maybe afterwards, okay?
Hey,
We're trying
it's
to
not
win the war.
stealing. It's winning through questionable means.
If it was left out, it means it's open play, but that's a rule in bars, not outside of bars.
I don't know. That's my favorite kind of winning.
If I wasn't currently busy with work, I would so much go for a shot right now. That's what I feel. Well, the intoxication would help.
Ellie is going to go to the bar and get him a shot.
Oh,
What kind of shot we getting here today? We're gonna get some fire dragon wine in here. We're gonna get some dwarven ale. We're gonna get some
We're going
burning
straight for the ale.
hellfire.
oh no.
All kinds of different alcohols behind that bar that you've gotten intimately familiar with as of the last week.
Yeah.
Many of them that
Ellie's
you
just
don't
gonna
actually
go,
recognize the
eeny,
name of,
meeny,
but oh
miny,
boy.
mo. Ellie's just gonna go through. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by a toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny. This one.
Roll
And
d20.
she'll just grab a random.
What kind of insanity you bringing here today?
Oh no. Oh no.
So you decide
She knows
just
this bar
to
really well.
you decide just to pick a random fucking one. You stick your hand under the bar, and Tommy just kind of looks at you as you start rummaging away. He's like, and you just full arm deal all the way to your shoulder, kind of in under the bar, and just how this one. A pull out, and he looks at you in absolute confounded, his face looks at you like you just won the lottery. As you pull out what looks to be an absolutely pristine, beautiful, ornate, unopened alcohol bottle that you have never seen before. In fact, you can't even read it because it's in a language that you're not entirely sure what is, as you're just looking at it. Let's see. Actually curious on what languages Oliver knows. Infernal. Oh, you do know it. Okay, cool. Oliver, however, can read it. Because it's in Infernal. It is saying it's the devil's drink. Is essentially what it's called. And even Oliver's not entirely sure how to read the scale of the alcohol that it's listing, as it's a lot of comparisons of different alcohols. Some are 10, 20 proof. This one is you take the 10, 20 proof and then you translate it into another language and you change the
scale.
Yeah, the scale. So you're not entirely sure how strong this stuff is, but it is beautiful. And fucking Tommy looks at you as you pull out, and he's like, how the fuck did you find that?
Well, I was raised in a bar, and I worked at this one for a bit. I get a hanker on things, and you learn where the good stuff is hidden.
He kind of looks under the bar, and it's like, I shoved that so far in there.
Ah, it's a good thing I'm tiny.
It just got in absolute confusion, just starts walking to the other side of the bar. It's like, what?
Have a wonderful day. I'm gonna go get a Dr. Drunk.
Won't be hard.
Oh, I know. And Ellie walks in proudly with the bottle and
Cool.
a small glass. Okay, Ellie, you ready?
Huh?
Do you need a break?
I figured I was gonna be. How much did that cost?
About as much as it took for me to find it.
And how much was that?
Look of confusion from Tommy.
So it was.
I'm sure Jackson will find out later. It's
Oh no. Honestly, I think I'm probably best off at the very least finishing off the examination before I take a sip. No offense. Considering I think I kind of need reasoning intact if I'm going to figure out what's going on here. Especially if this is as potentially dangerous as I heard it can be.
Well, let's speed up the process then. I can help you.
Hey Sin, how long has it been since I've started trying to running preparations for Identify?
Probably, you probably finished the preparation, so Identify can be ritual casted now. Probably over 10 minutes.
Alrighty then. I'm going to ritual cast, starting with hit the material in the syringe.
Nice. That would be... Oh, remind me what that material I said was.
Identify essentially directly tells me what it does.
Dude, what did I say was in the syringe? I forget.
It was circuits. It's
Circuit, right.
Circuit.
Yeah. So you can tell, based on this thing... Sorry. Based on your identifying, like, touching and stuff, is absolutely a drug. 100%. It is made to pretty much injure people, essentially. Unlike a lot of the other drugs that you've seen and the usage of them so far, this drug is not made to have a good ending. This drug is made to kill people, essentially.
Well, I can tell that this is basically just poison.
Give you one hell of a high,
Surprised by
though.
that.
Sorry, say again?
Say it'll give you one hell of a high, though.
You'll be drunken, but it's basically poison.
So most alcohols?
I don't think most alcohols were sold with the intention of them being flat out lethal.
Oh, the ones that Ezekiel is making.
You know, I'm not gonna ask. Just looking over at the small vials. Alright, let's take a look at this thing's elemental makeup, since I believe that was the other half that she wanted. Just
Nice.
like starts filtering the alkahested circuit, and I'm going to identify that one next.
Cool. And they usually have 2 elements, right?
I'm just assuming that we don't necessarily. You could give it 2 elements, but I was just figuring it's just that's a quick. Okay, now I know the basic formula and the purity of each individual elements, but would still probably need to be figuring out what that would imply each individual ingredient is based on that purity level.
Ah, fair. Okay. So you're figuring it out very slowly, but very effectively.
I know the elemental makeup, and I have a few suggestions as to what it could be, and I already know what this thing does.
Yep.
That's basically the status I was expecting from this process.
Yeah. And it's definitely not a good item.
But yeah, I'm going to be filling out the notes for elemental makeup, followed by a bunch of suggestions for what could potentially be of this purity level for each individual element, and include at the very bottom a brief description as to how deadly this is and how slowly it will kill you, and any other basis for or any other detail that you would probably need to know about this thing's operation. Before proceeding to tear the page out and just saying, and this is for her later.
Nice. That's actually
Now the
remarkably
next
useful information.
Looking over at the sheet up that contains the treatment. Now the next thing I need to do is to figure out who the heck can actually produce this in mass.
Tommy
Looking
kind of
over
looks
at
over
the
the
treatment
bar.
page. I mean, I guess he technically could if he's got access to like alchemy supplies, but we don't. But I don't know that.
That's true.
Never mind.
It's just
I
kind
guess
of
if
watching you.
I guess if nothing else, he probably would be a passable individual to ask, because even if he doesn't know himself, he would know if someone like that exists in the town, in this side of the slums, just simply given that he's been here to probably hear all the hearsay.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right. One last task, and then I'll take that shot. Just stands up, and I'm going to approach the barkeep.
Nice. He just kind of looks at you with a smile as he puts away his coin. What can I do you for, Doctor?
Actually, I'm not here as a customer or at the moment. I was actually hoping to ask if you might be able to give me any sort of information about. I guess probably the best way to phrase it is alchemists or anyone else that might have knowledge about fluid form elements.
Nah, unfortunately, ain't got a whole lot of alchemy folks down here, as you probably noticed from what's her name? Marigold, wanting you to fix up some stuff with the drugs. We ain't got a whole lot of folks that can do that. I can do it to some degree, but I ain't got much of the tools for it. It's one of the reasons that I'm trying to establish connections with Circadia, is because they got some folks down there that can probably fix up some stuff.
Okay, that's even more of a reason to go down there. Oh, even so, I suppose while I'm here, I'm just going to hand him the formula list. Can you make sense of this?
It makes sense about 70-ish% of this. Other 30% I could probably figure out later.
That's probably better than I was expecting. Do you have an alchemical jar?
He kind of like looks under his bar. Not that, not that, not that. I think I have one in the back.
Okay, then you might actually be able to pull off this sort of creation process then.
Well, leave it to me, bud.
Okay, so I guess I'll give you that formula. It should be the treatment for the blast veins, the blue veins.
Well, if you find someone down in Circadia, feel free to make sure it's known that we need a folk down here, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just trying to distribute this to anyone that can potentially work on a treatment. I'd wager you could probably sell that. I'd wager you'd probably be able to make some level of income off of this. If that's of any interest.
True.
Though I'd appreciate if you were reasonable about this. End of the day, most of the folks down here don't exactly seem to be in the best of conditions, to say the least.
Don't worry, I know these folks a lot better than almost anyone, so I'll be sure to judge it pricely.
Alright. Here's a quick tip. You'll probably need some sort of specialty filter to actually get the element and side of things out. But otherwise, with that alchemical jar of yours, ask it for alkahest. It's a special type of acid that reduces objects down to the element form of the fluid instead of just making it a liquid under the normal circumstances that most acids do. Also be careful with that. It's very difficult to. It is hyper strong, and it will consume literally anything except basically just glass.
I'll keep that in mind.
So, of course, if this isn't necessarily something you want to delve into, don't worry about that. But it would be nice if you can find somebody that can, and if that's the case.
Once meetings are set up between us and Circadia, I'm sure we can find someone.
All right, cool. I'm going to pass him a few silver for agreeing to this. 5 silver, in fact.
Much appreciated. He kind of takes the silver and puts it into one of his pouches.
Perfect. And thank you again for all the assistance here.
No problem.
I'll let you get back to it. I'm going to turn around and go back towards the group.
Nice.
All right. All that I have left to do is make sure that Marigold gets us on the way out, and we should be covered. All right. Let's take a look at that. And then just looking towards the bottle of alcohol.
is very
Well, to make
pristine
you
and
feel
lovely.
better, I'll take one with you.
I assume that means she's taking a shot, or
I assume
above
so,
game?
yeah. And Bill, are you going to join their drinking habits?
Bill's just gonna stare at them. Drinking is my thing. How dare
I mean, you're
you?
free to join. I mean, you're free to join us at
Nah.
this point. With how much
Team
is going on,
shots.
I think at this point with how much is going on, I'm gonna need something like this.
Look, I appreciate the offer, but I need to refill my stock.
Fair. You can always place a bet on which one of us will keel over first after the shots.
Fair enough. Bill walks over to the thing. Hey, Tim. Tim.
Hmm.
I think his name's actually Tom, but he's calling him Tim.
Yeah.
I need
What
to
can I
refill
do
my
you
beer.
for?
I need to refill my beer. I'm getting low. I'm at 17 out of 25.
He reaches into some compartment under the bar and pulls out like 8 bottles of beer. Here you go, bud.
Thank you. As Bill walks back over to the table. Okay, I'm ready.
Oh gosh. So
Nice.
do we just get into the con saves, or?
Yeah, all 3 of you, I assume, take a drink, so make me a con save.
I don't think I did very well.
Oh, bud. Ellie.
Oh, gosh.
Level one intoxication.
Yeah,
Ellie's
Ellie's
fine.
okay. You
She's
two,
had
like,
this drink before.
yeah, Ellie drinks this, and it's a drink that she hasn't quite had before. She's had something similar to it. But she knocks back. She like it kind of goes down her throat. Bill, you've probably never had something of this quality and caliber. It does not burn when it goes down. It hits your stomach, and it feels like someone gut punched you. Same with Oliver. Oliver, you're
Feels like
attempted.
a Sunday afternoon.
Oliver, you're attempting not to throw up, just from like the sheer potency of this alcohol.
It's so weak that Bill wasn't sure how to handle it.
What was that? Just like holding his gut, because he is very much not an alcoholic normally.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this hits hard, hurt either way for him.
Oh no, I think we need to find a doctor for the doctor. You don't like the Sunday morning? Well, I think they call it the devil's punch. Because it feels like a punch in the gut.
I can see why. What was that anyway? Just looks over at the bottle.
Ball
Just picked
says
up
the devil's drink.
Don't die.
Okay, that explains a few things. Puts it down. Puts it back down.
Your stomach is
Funny enough,
churning.
I think it's made by a tiefling.
Considering it's literally labeled as a devil's drink, I would not be surprised.
And infernal too.
Yeah.
Yeah, written in the tongue of the devil themselves, it seems as well. If that's any consolation.
Bill just kind of looks
So sad you
confused.
can't handle
Oliver's in pain, and Ellie's just like, good shit.
Well, this
again,
was
Sunday
unexpected.
Are you gonna be okay, Bill?
I'm disappointed in myself.
Oh, I love that.
We had a rough start. This makes it so much better.
Everyone's just watching.
Yeah. Like a really entertaining show.
Yeah. Alright, cool. So drinks go on. Do y'all continue your drinking, or do you think that's enough before you go meet Marigold and Mrs. Claus once
Just
more?
one shot.
Yeah, let's
That's
be real.
enough.
Like, we need to maintain.
Just a shot of courage.
We need to maintain. At the very least, I need to maintain some level of lucidity, just simply because I'm going to actually have to give her the formula.
Fair,
Specifically
yeah.
for the
And
circuit.
your stomach hurts at this point too. Alright. So y'all
What Ellie
and
drinks as a shot of courage to confront anyone.
some
but
good shit
especially
too.
Jackson.
Tastes wonderful.
It's
This is probably
really
the
wonderful.
best tasting alcohol that any of you guys have ever had. which makes it doubly confusing for Bill.
It's so weak a comparison to what he drinks to legitimately get drunk. His body doesn't know how to handle it because it says it's strong, so he expects it to be strong, and then it's not, and he's just sitting there confused, and then it hits him, and his body's like, "What?"
Spy gets confused. To most people, it would be very strong, especially to a lightweight like Oliver who doesn't drink. But to someone like Bill, who's been drinking for half his life, this shit is like candy. Very confusing and painful candy, but candy. Alright, so you'll end up going on your way all the way over to the village once more. And you'll end up giving Marigold the information on the paper. And she just kind of looks at it and she's a bit confused by like all the stuff, but she tells you the same thing Tommy did, which is if they can find someone who like comes into town or something who's an alchemist, they'll be sure to relay this information to them. That's pretty much all that she gives you. She seems to be neck deep in paperwork at the moment as well.
I did it Doris also. I'll give her the page of the circuit makeup, so far as I could tell. Okay.
Cool. And y'all start heading on your way to Mrs. Claus. She unfortunately does not seem to be in the house at the moment, but as she said before, just knock on the door 3 times and she should answer.
3 knocks.
I see. And never mind, I guess. If we're on our way out, we probably would have brought Micah with us.
Probably. Yeah. Micah's just kind of awkwardly behind y'all. Which I swear I had a picture for. But anyway, so yeah, Bill da-da-dunk, da-da-dunk, da-da-dunk. And eventually you guys hear, oh crap, right, ooh, oh right. As the door kind of flings open and you see Mrs. Claus standing kind of like hunched at the door because the doorway is so much lower than she is, and she's like, hello there, friend. Sorry, didn't quite realize you guys be here at this point. But hi, hello, good to see you. What can I do you for?
I think we've just about finished our tasks actually here.
Nice.
Unless somebody else has something they didn't tell me about. Just looking back over.
No, I believe we're basically ready. We'll just need to... I'm pretty sure your death has already happened. Didn't you give your horn to Rowena?
Just pointing towards it. And I left a little special trick with that horn as well.
Nice. So you guys...
So now we can...
So you guys decide with Rowena that after you guys would leave probably today, she would make some kind of large, what's the word? Distraction, I guess? Event. She'd make some kind of large commotion that would happen after you guys have fully left. So she's essentially just waiting on y'all to leave, which you guys said you were going to do today. And so that's her plan, later in the afternoon.
Oh, also, Sin, I converted the horn fragment into a spell refueling item.
Oh, very nice. Oh, that's super nice. Alright, cool. That's actually super useful for Rowena.
That is, of course, also, though, my 3rd and final infusion slot right now. I cannot make any more for another few levels.
Fair. Yeah, so Mrs. Claus just kind of smiles at you guys, and she's like, alright, well, if you're all done with your tasks, where would you like to go? She pulls out the sweet map that you all have seen, kind of tattered. Now, I do have to warn you, I'm not 100% exact with wherever I send you, but I'm usually in the ballpark.
At the very least, can you confirm that we'd be dropped on land if we gave you a town name?
Oh, yeah, it'll be on the continent, for sure.
Okay. Unless I misunderstood, I believe that we're intending to go to Circadia next. Isn't that our objective? Oh, wait. Weren't we planning to stop in Where are we planning to stop in
Mercy?
Mierse on the way?
I mean, it'd be funny if we ended up landing there anyways, even though we were aiming for Circadia, but they are pretty close together. Well,
Just a few
about a
days
day's
travel.
journey apart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mercy to Littlefoot Forest is a day travel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I
And-
guess it would be about
Yeah, it's around a day's
2.
travel.
Yeah.
The entire
Yeah, it'd be
continent,
about a
if you
day.
guys are like running across the entire continent from like here to here, is about a week's travel. If you guys just non-stop ran the entire way, it would take about a week to get from one spot to the other. Generally speaking, because people have to take, rests and they're kind of slower, generally speaking, it will take anywhere between like 2 weeks to a month to get from one side of the continent to the other. So most places in the continent is around a couple days travel with sleep and stuff. Yeah, so she's like, well, if you wish to go Circadia, I can totally make that happen. Just look for the city and the day-night cycle. If you do get dropped in the mountains, don't be afraid. Just, climb, jump, maybe, probably.
I mean, I've got rope.
That'll work. And if you need me at all, I have a circle inside of some areas around bits and pieces. I don't think I have one in Circadia, but if you ever like really need me to be over there, she got hands you a paper. You just need to draw this in. I don't remember what we used to draw this. Well, just draw it with something. Claw. God, what's the word? Jesus Christ.
Is it a
Chalk?
particular
Chalk.
type of chalk?
Yeah, try drawing in chalk. If that doesn't
Pen.
work, try drawing it in
Blood.
rock. Probably not blood. I hope it's not blood. That'd be very awkward if it was blood. Well, last time I did, I used cookie dough.
I've heard several types of casters use special types of chalks that they've combined with conjuration magic in order to set up transit in this regard.
Yeah, do that. Just make it big enough to put on a door. She hands you a small paper. Make sure it looks pretty much exactly like that, and then knock on the door 3 times. And I'll probably know where you guys are. Again, it's not entirely specific unless I make it, but generally speaking, it's a chance of getting me. So, ever need me, just do that and hope that I hear it. Sometimes I'm not in the house. Sometimes I'm making cookie dough. Speaking of, she reaches over and pulls out a tray of cookies and points at y'all. Would you guys like my mimic dough? Or mimic
Are they
cookies?
still alive?
Yes.
No, I
Cookies.
beat them. They were
Okay.
alive until I cooked them. Took a while. Would you like the recipe?
Yes. Yes.
She pulls out one, and hands it to you before reaching into her like satchel bag and pulls out a fairly long scroll and hands it to you. Here's the recipe. Now remember, if you're ever trying to cook it, you have to be guarding the oven door, and you have to be cooking it at around 400 degrees for around 9.5 hours.
9.5 hours.
Don't
Holy
worry
crap.
about the screaming.
Wow.
It happens.
Okay. This sounds really fun. I can't wait to. Could I have another cookie?
Oh yeah.
Just
She
very
grabs it.
disturbed, confused and
Actually,
terrified.
can I have 2 cookies?
Why are you asking for so many cookies?
Because
can
I
take
have
the
2
tray.
I have 2 grown men that need the life scared out of them with mimic cookies.
You can take the tray.
Oh, really? Thank you so much.
Might I have one?
She hands you one and
Sure.
pours the rest of them into a satchel and hands it to you. It's a pretty hefty bag. Each of the cookies are like the size of your open hand.
Oh.
They look pretty tasty. and they smell good.
Are we talking like Ellie open hand or Bill open hand size?
Ellie open hand.
Okay. There's a difference.
But yeah, they're fairly large cookies, and she just kind of smiles at you. She's like, yeah, it's pretty hard in order to actually do the thing, but if you have the right materials, and wood ovens are very useful for this. You just have to not worry about the screaming, so doing like a secluded area.
I'm still very concerned.
Is a recipe
okay.
passed down to me by great grandmama.
Gummy mama.
Mama.
It seems as if the family business has a lot of contact with mimics. I'm starting to understand. Correct?
This'll be fine.
Anyways, let's get you on your travel, shall we? Now, hold hands, everyone, and pretend that you will get to the right spot. That I've been told that helps a lot. Sometimes it doesn't, but I've been told it does. So just believe you're going to the right area, and if you're falling off a cliff, that's why we hold hands.
Okay, duly noted.
I thought you said to drop us on solid land.
I said you won't be
Well,
dropped in the water.
Let's think. Either think of Circadia or Mercy. We might end up at one of the two. It's fine.
Hey.
I'm just imagining like everyone does the holding hands things. Like everyone extends their hand to Ellie with like the most suspicious looks. Like, go on then, hold my hand.
She'll just hold your pinky.
Yeah, okay.
If you
Make
guys
the
fall
spell
into a
weaker.
mountain, that's gonna be the worst. Fucking. Whee! So you guys feel the ground underneath you starts shining a light, brilliant blue, as the area around you starts to shift and change, and Mrs. Claus kind of smiles at you guys as she's like, "Close your eyes now, ladies and gentlemen, as we go on a wilder ride. Hopefully, it'll be on solid ground inside of a town and not on top of a mountain in the cold area. Don't think about the cold area. Don't think about the mountain. Think about the town that I don't think any of you have ever been to. I'll think about the town. You think about a normal town. And, oh, hey, look, we're here!"
Wait, did she
Okay.
actually
Oh
come with us?
wow.
Yeah. You guys are now in the middle of a town.
Oh no! I meant did she actually come with us?
Oh yeah, she came with y'all. She is.
Oh okay.
Yeah, probably like two of y'all tall. As she's like standing there, and she's like, we made it into this wonderful bustling town. There's like over 100 people in the middle of this square, and they're all staring at you.
So we have a ton of people staring at us.
Yeah.
Something tells me transport circles are not the most common means of transit, are they?
Oh yeah, no, it's exceedingly rare that you have a mage strong enough to make a transportation circle. I'm one of the only ones in this entire continent that can. Oh right, that's probably why everyone's staring at us, huh?
Hello, people. I am all powerful. Hello.
Oh gosh, it's gonna go
Well,
poorly.
that's certainly one way to make an entrance.
You see a lot of the people, like a couple of guards, start like walking over, specifically towards Bill and Mrs. Claus, as like, "Are you new travelers here?" One of them particularly steps forward as he says that.
I have no idea where I ended up. Hi.
I bow dramatically.
Well,
I
this
don't
is the
think
strangest group of traveling performers I've ever seen.
Did we wind up in Circadia by chance?
Aye, this is the town of Circadia. I'm amazed that you're here without knowing it.
Lovely.
You're in the heart of the town.
Oh,
Oh, that's a plus. We just don't we don't travel this way a whole lot, so that's why we had never been here before. So we just happened to drop in.
First time transporting by teleportation circle.
I
Sorry
see.
about that.
He kind of like looks up at Mrs. Claus. Like you can even see his neck having to bend backwards a little bit to look up at her. He's probably around 5'4" or so. He's like, right. Well, ma'am, I would have to request that you take your leave at some point. Unfortunately, as it stands, very large people tend to get not the best notice in this town. Sorry. She's like, oh, it's no problem. I know how you folks are. I know how you theories can be. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Poof! And she's just gone.
Well,
Hi,
there's a
Mrs.
height
Claus.
issue here too.
He moves his head down. Only when they're past 8 feet tall.
Ah.
Generally speaking,
Yeah,
after
the
you get
gnomes
to
have
that
the same issue.
height, yeah, the doors don't really fit you. People get kind of scared of you, and concerns rise. You know how it is.
And
Well,
nobody casts enlarge reduce.
Not very often. There's very few spellcasters in this town.
I guess
the
that makes
Sorry.
my job easier.
What was that, Avern?
I was wondering, it's like, so while the king and the guards are distracted, can I just like sneak past them into the town?
Yeah, roll me stealth.
Oh, can I take advantage for my equipment and stuff?
Let's
My shoes that make
see.
no sound when I walk, my cloak thingy.
Trying to remember what cloak did. Let's
I
see.
think that allowed me to travel past shadows, but that would depend on what this entrance is looking like. Walking.
Yeah, you just are in constant shadow. Oh yeah, by the way, she's just constant shadows. Just so y'all aware. Your shoes do give you advantage on stealth.
Hmm.
So
I'm just the most suspicious looking person, if you look
yeah,
at me.
she like most of her body is just kind of usually shrouded in shadows, to a point where it legitimately looks like you guys can't see most of her body except for like her head and a little bit of her chest area. And she has never once made a sound by walking that you guys have ever heard on any terrain. But yeah, roll me stealth with advantage, which you needed.
It's a 16.
Since Bill is looking around, can I just roll a perception?
Sure. Any of you three are welcome to roll perception if you like.
Ooh,
Wow.
just
I
above
mean,
it.
I'm assuming I'm focused on the guard at the moment, so I'm
Mhm.
probably going to say I'm not. So I'm not even gonna try. I'm just gonna assume I'm not paying attention to her right now.
Okay. Are you doing the same, Melly?
Oh, I'm gonna roll perception. I'm keeping an eye on everything. New
Okay,
town.
cool.
Looking about.
New town, new place, new friends, new fellows, new foes and hoes. All right, you missed entirely. Bill's the only
distracted.
person. Yeah, Bill's the only person who notices that Averin is slowly sneaking past everyone, shrouded in shadows. As Bill's
I'm going
Bill.
to follow her.
Bill starts walking, be like towards her. Unfortunately, Bill is very easy to spot with his massive bag that jingles a lot. So as Bill is walking past, the guard doesn't really notice that he walks past, probably because he doesn't care that much. But Oliver and Ellie, you both notice that Bill just starts walking in a direction.
Do I notice Bill? I assume I notice Bill following me.
Roll me perception, and Bill, are you trying to be stealthy?
I want to instead roll a deception.
Oh, okay.
Because the moment she notices me, Bill's just gonna go, I'm just walking a direction.
You know what? You're stupid
Alright.
enough that would work.
When the crit fails, still winds up above the normal roll. What the heck?
Oh my god. Now, I do have the rule that crit fails always fails.
It is a
I-
crit fail, and I will take that as a failure.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
you know.
So I'll let you, Averin, decide whether or not your character would semi-believe the fact that he's just walking in a direction.
I
He did not sound like he at all any way, shape, or form was being honest at all.
well, Averin knowing Bill probably thought that Bill had just also walked into the town, but just did not notice her. Just like she just thinks that Bill just kind of walked.
Bill's stupidity and natural ability to wander around is playing in his favor.
Oh, he has been wandering all over the Citadel, so this very much so lines up for him.
True.
God, the absolute, he did not sound at all honest, but you were like, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, good lord.
Averin's just gonna try to like find what was it, the local gambling and general bar-ish place.
It's generally called The Ring. But yeah, it's essentially the gambling the gambling area's centerpiece, which you said was around the heart, or which was said to be around the heart of the city. But generally speaking, it was like somewhere in the city. Tommy has not been in Circadia very often, and so yeah, very little idea for you. But you start trying to wander around, trying to find your way to the ring, and Bill is not in any way, shape, or form being stealthy or showing any form of intelligence while trying to follow you.
Yeah,
It's just
if
tip tap tip tap tip tap tip tap.
yeah, if ever like still sees like Bill just generally in the eyesight, like every time she like turns around, Bill is like, I don't know, near a lamppost or something. Just like, hmm.
He is in fact going in a direction.
I could just imagine like there's the navigation things like on like if it's just like on a map, everyone's like going in a line and Bill is like doing loop-de-loops, but like doing the loop-de-loops in the direction that everyone's going. Yeah.
You're like, you lose him for a second, and like 2 minutes later, he pops up like kind of in the street in front of you, and you guys just lock eyes for a second. He just starts walking in your direction as you pass him.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Everyone will. Yeah.
As much as he's following you, there's also shiny things everywhere.
Can everyone like feel where like the maybe gambling place is, or is she gonna have to like
Roll me a survival check. You've been
survive
in you've been in a lot of weird towns and bad areas, and yeah, you generally know most layouts of towns. So
It's 11.
God,
Goodness.
yeah.
I
So
don't think I've ever been here, so.
nope, you've never been here once. It's also exceedingly weird, because you've never been in a place where there's a day-night cycle. And so since you guys got here probably around 8-ish a.m. or so, the sun's kind of sort of peeking up, but it's that like early morning kind of light. And you've never actually seen that light before, except like at midnight or something. So your clock is going really weird. You're going around, and some alleys have shadows in them that in your head shouldn't have shadows, just because of what you're used to. And so you get kind of confused, and it takes you a while to eventually find the gambling ring. All the houses and areas as well are generally quite plain as well. Doesn't seem like they have a whole lot of value on putting up a bunch of signs or other such like that. Bye, Piranha. There are some signs, as you can see, like that one, but they're generally quite obfuscated. and so it's not super easy to find them. It takes you quite a while. It'll probably take you at least half an hour or so to find it, especially with how big the city is. So we're going to look at Ellie and Oliver, as you guys have seen Bill walk away from you, as the guard is still talking to you and stuff. And the guard's like, so what is your business?
Above game, I believe we popped in here to drop off. No, we popped in
It's
here.
literally
to...
just for Abra.
And to find Alchemist.
I was gonna say, I thought for sure we did it for more than one purpose.
Well, you know, that was more based on Averin making a connection for the alchemist to exist.
Yeah, I believe she officially said I was making some sort of connection between the Citadel and here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Averin's goal, and then Tommy was talking to Oliver about if you can find an alchemist inside of Circadia, that would be useful for them.
I don't think that y'all know what Averin's goal is. If I recall right, Averin just told you, I have a job to do. I'm on
Yeah.
a mission.
I don't think Tommy brought it up.
Nope.
No, you
All you
never
know is
asked
that
what the job actually
Averin,
was.
Averin has a job here. You guys don't know what it is, and Tommy told you go find an alchemist.
I'm just gonna put it like this. We came here to establish some level of communication between a couple particular parties between here in Circadia and another nearby civilization. I specifically am looking for an alchemist if that's available in this area.
Interesting. We don't have a whole lot of folks coming in here for most things other than drinking and gambling, to be honest. So it's nice to see someone with a head on their shoulders. Hi, Wally. And so, Alchemist, oof, that one's a bit tricky. We have a bunch of towns in place, or a bunch of buildings in the town. I couldn't think of Alchemist right off the top of my head, but if I had to guess, you could possibly find one inside the ring if you talk to the head boss. He's usually the one who knows how everything in the town works, everyone around the town. He usually keeps track of pretty much anything and everything around the area. Potentially you could also find one if you go, it kind of gestures down the street. If you go down there and then turn to the left, you might find there's a little bar. They tend to keep track of pretty much everyone who goes into and out of the town. It's the most frequently used area, and so that's probably where you'd find an alchemist if I had to assume, or they'd be able to tell you where any long-standing buildings are, which is likely where alchemists would have set up shop. Either of those two areas will probably lead you somewhere.
When you say the boss man of your ring, do you mean like the guard captain or?
Oh, no. The where guards step by around the town in order to make sure everything goes smoothly. The actual, I guess you could say, ruler of this town is, well, how do I put this right for you folks? He's kind of like a king, almost. We don't really have nobility in this structure, but if you go, he gestures to one of the highest buildings that you guys can see in the surrounding area. If you go over there, that tends to be where he's centered. He's pretty much the military force of the Citadel here. Generally speaking, him and the boss man tend to have relations to make sure that the Citadel is kept alive and well, especially considering we've been hearing tales of war as of the last 20-something years, and so we wanted to make sure that we were suitably defensive. But the boss man himself is actually a leader of the gambling rings, which are a well-established area in here. We also have connections to the goblins and the gnomes, so don't worry if you find a couple of them passing around. Goblins are the most common sight for common folk, and so I typically tend to warn people of them. But the two of them together make sure that the Citadel is kept alive.
Warn people about them? Is there something specifically I should be concerned about involving them?
You never heard stories of the goblins before?
I've never encountered one, I can tell you that much.
Well, many stories go that goblins are cannibals, and they pretty much eat anything that they can get their hands across. Anything and everything that they can eat, they will and are able to digest. There are two different forms of goblins that we've heard of down in the never eats our wheat southwest inside their little area. One of them tends to be mushroom folk, and the other one tends to be a little bit smarter folk. Those smarter folk are the ones that we have here every now and again. If you go in that direction and you manage to survive, there's a place called the Spire over there. It's where most of the goblins tend to be. It's kind of their stronghold, I guess you could say. Most organized folk there. And they have a bar over there, gambling ring, of course. Most of the pre-seats tend to go back towards Cicadia here, and we tend to get them help if they need it. It's very rare that you meet a goblin that isn't going to eat your arms, but here in Cicadia, we have folk from all over.
I suppose now that you mention it, that's technically a goblin picking up a guard position where we came from, so I had to think about it. And I guess we did travel with one for a short time.
Yeah, currently she's asleep. But
Going for the long sleep.
yeah, a long sleep.
Alright, so
Okay.
I'll take that into account. And I'll definitely need to make sure to keep the remaining Alcahest outside of arm's reach. Just looking down at a couple of lavender vial holes on his waistline.
Acid bomb.
Let's be real. The goblins probably would try and drink that.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he just kind of looks at you like, fair enough. So if you'd like to journey onwards, we ain't gonna stop you unless you pick a fight. If you pick a fight, no, we're very good at stopping fights.
Well,
I mean,
duly noted. Thank you
I
for
mean,
helping us. Hopefully the war doesn't come here.
I wouldn't have expected the town to survive if you guys weren't good at that.
Oh, and something you common folk might not realize as well, if you're out from out of town, he gestures upwards at the weird light. This town runs on a 24-hour light system. We have day cycles and we have night cycles. The story we've been told is that the god's power tends to fluctuate over here, and so we're the only place that tends to get a day-night cycle. So that might confuse your bodies a little bit.
If only the whole world was like this.
Would be interesting. We've gotten used to over time from being here, but if you're Outlanders, this would be a very weird experience for you.
Yeah, growing up, I basically only knew Twilight. It was only recently that I started to actually see what it looks like with just a sun and a moon, and individually, with nothing else.
Well, we shall be on our way then. You folks have a good time. Hopefully you find the alchemist that you need. And if you ever need anything, feel free to stop at any of the guard posts. We tend to be fairly helpful best we can.
Fair enough. Thanks for the assistance, and sorry for holding you up.
No problem. And he nods at you before
good
him
day.
and his team continue walking.
Oh, I don't know about you, but I think the bar is probably the safer bet, ironically.
Yeah. We've lost 2 of our teammates already, but
Yeah, we
I'm
should.
sure you and I could survive in this strange old town.
Yeah, survival is not exactly the part that I'm concerned about. I'm not certain that they'll necessarily be able to find their way back to us if we don't establish some sort of connection quickly, though. So at the very
I
least,
do have a sending stone, so if push comes to shove, I could use that.
true. And chances are, if someone has seen them, there's pretty good chance that there'll be talk about them at the bar sooner or later.
Alright, cool.
Yep. They'll be okay.
So y'all start walking in direction that the guards told you and start heading to the bar. The bar is the only place that you guys have seen that actually has a big old sign, and it's a Donkey's Tavern is what it's called in the
Oh,
direct
this is
center.
this is the location that Snow was talking about. Or, no, crap. Well, how did he call himself? Shaky.
Donkey's Tavern. And y'all head on your way inside. And Averin, we're gonna move back to you and Bill. Bill is taking the time heading towards you.
He's doing his thing. He's
But
following.
you eventually make your way to the ring, and you see a couple of quite large guards kind of standing there. Both are orcs, as they're both like have their arm crossed. They both look kind of bored as they're staring on ahead. They don't seem to have any actual weapons on them, but considering the sizes of their arms, you're not entirely sure they need them.
All right. I'm gonna look around and see if I can find the leader of this joint.
He would likely be inside.
Yeah. Uh, so I head in.
If you can get past the guards.
Okay. Oh, yeah. My brain is catching up.
Two steps too far.
Chill, but I was predicting the future. So, anyways, okay. All right.
Couple of avenues you can go about.
Okay, so I'm gonna approach the guards.
They both turn their heads to look at you.
Greetings. If you would, may I come inside? I have some business I need to attend to in there.
What business you have? The one on the right says to you.
Well, I was hoping to talk to the leader of this fine establishment.
Big boss don't talk to no one without previous engagements.
I need to talk to him about a business opportunity.
Big boss don't talk to no one unless you got previous engagements.
Well, you'll find that I do in fact have a previous engagement.
When did you have previous engagement?
A little while ago. I was held up by the fact that this was so long ago. Is there a list that I was on?
No. Only big boss, but no.
Then I'm going to have to talk to your big boss.
Big boss don't talk to no one without previous engagement. You can very clearly tell this orc is not very smart.
I have a solution.
Oh no. What's your solution?
They'll walk up. Hey, biggies!
He slowly turns his head towards you. Huh?
Hi.
Who are you?
I was here 2 weeks ago.
You were?
Oh my word. Did you forget again?
Who are you?
Bill. Wait, why am I asking you? You wouldn't remember.
I'll roll intelligence save real quick. Oh, that's supposed to be a -3. He's very dumb.
Oh, that's a total of -1.
Yeah, that's a -1 for him. Oh. He steps to the side. Previous engagement got you in. Yeah.
Yep. Come on, Averin.
Oh.
She's previous engagement?
Yes. Just do your job and don't worry about it. All right. Good. See you, biggies.
Okay.
Bill just walks in.
Averin, rather confused, walks alongside him.
He closes the door and goes back to his stand, just like, Huh. Bill. Nice guy.
Aaron just like slightly whispers to him, it's like, I wasn't aware that you are actually following me.
And to be fair, I was bored. There's
Understandable.
look, you can only talk to guards so many times and it'd actually be entertaining.
Yeah, yeah.
As you
Alright
guys
then.
walk in, it's very loud. There's a lot of people talking, shouting, a lot of different gambling games going around, from dice to boards to all kinds of stuff. Oddly enough, there's not a whole lot of smoking going on, or a whole lot of drugs going on. There are, of course, a lot of drinking going on, but it's very light drinking, and Bill can tell just from smelling, because there's incredible amount of alcohol used. They are very light drinks, like champagne kind of light drinks.
Pathetic.
But you guys are going around, and most of the area seems to be in like one center area. It's a fairly somewhat large space, a lot of different tables set up around the spots, and it does not seem like Averin can see any of them. However, Bill does know where the big boss guy generally is, because he was there before.
Oh, it's this place.
Yes, it's this
Oh, I wasn't lying then.
Nope.
Apparently.
You don't remember encountering the big bud, but yeah, this is the same place. Bill, however, is stupid, so roll me intelligence save.
That I have a -2.
Alright. So, what are we looking for?
We're trying to find the leader of this establishment.
Let's find the bar.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't remember anything about this place.
You tell
Have
her to
been
walk
here
out of there.
And no, just Bill's looking for the bar in here. If there's booze here of any kind, there has to be a bar.
Fair. There is a small area set up. Like there's a what looks to be like probably an elf, kind of like standing in like a small little like a blackjack dealer table, but it has a bunch of different drinks on it. As he's just kind of standing there mixing you up a couple of drinks, and he's probably across the room from y'all.
Hello!
Why, hello there, good sir. I haven't seen one of your kind ever, actually. Fascinating. What would you like to drink, sir?
Not to drink. Where's the boss?
Oh, the big boss boy. Well, Mr. Big Boss, he doesn't really see many visitors without, appointments set up or anything. It's mostly make sure that no one comes in guns blazing, you know?
She says she has an appointment.
Do you have any papers to certify that, Miss Young Lady?
Okay, hold on. Well, it's not that sort of appointment.
Oh, what kind of appointment is it then?
Classified information.
Unfortunately, my dear, we don't really work with classified information unless you are some of the bigger uppers, and I am not.
I'll have you know I am one of the bigger uppers.
Oh, you are you? Well, unfortunately, I've not seen your face before, so if you're making that kind of claim, then I must unfortunately call over one of the lieutenants and see if your claim is correct. Hold on just a moment.
You wouldn't know me.
That makes sense for a lieutenant. Hold on just a moment. As he kind of turns around and like grabs a drink on the side of his weird shelf behind him, and he pulls it like a lever, and the entire table, or the backing of it, like spins around, and it's now empty. After a couple of minutes kind of go by, the thing spins around again, and you see him standing there with his general smile before the man next to him, who is what's a race I haven't used for a while? Oh, I know, a Dragonborn. There we go. A Dragonborn is standing next to him. They're, I think, probably around 5'8", generally speaking, something around that. So he's standing there. I don't know what color. I think he would be. Let's go with orange. He's telling me an orange-colored Dragonborn. As he's standing there, he's like, "Sup."
I have an appointment with your leader.
I was told you were saying you were lieutenants.
Hmm?
One of the higher ups.
In a fashion.
My name's Lucian. I don't remember you. I remember all lieutenants.
I figured you wouldn't. Look, it's important. I need to see your boss.
He kind of like looks at Bill. And there's Pipsqueak.
Hi. I'm just here.
Yes, he's a tag along.
Hey,
Not important.
I am not a tag along. My name is Bill, thank you.
That is his name, yes.
Well, before we allow you to meet the big boss, we're gonna have to remove you of your weapons. He kind of like steps off the little platform that the elf is on as the elf starts shaking out more drinks, and he walks over to a table and pats it. Put all your weapons on the table right here.
All right. I put my dagger and stuffs onto it.
Yes.
Just see Bill just opens up his bag, dagger, puts the dagger on the table, hammer, morning star, and you just see him start laying out Molotovs. 1 Molotov, 2 Molotov, 3 Molotov, 4, 5, 25, 37, 89, 64. I've lost count. And he puts the 25 Molotovs from his bag on the table.
You see him look legitimately confused at you.
Do you count bagpipes as a weapon?
Are you a spellcaster?
I'm a bard.
You're a bard, no.
Actually, that's fair. Fair enough. Puts the bagpipes back in his bag.
Right. Alright, well now that you guys have sufficiently de-armed yourselves, let's go on. As he kind of leads you into a back room. This one actually does spark Bill's memory at the last time you were here being dragged by a mushroom lady.
Hey, I've actually been here before. Man, it's been a while. Is that me when we see
Lucian
the
turns
dwarf?
and looks at you in somewhat confusion. What?
Yeah, no, I've been here before. Was it the dwarf or was that someone else?
Big boss is a dwarf, yeah.
Oh, I remember. What was he having me do? Oh my word, Meshruna would have known. Well, this could get interesting.
Well,
You had a mission from the boss.
Something to do with the rebellion and the Citadel.
Huh.
He was very friendly.
Are you sure you're talking about the boss?
Yeah, nice beard, a dwarf, short, but pretty stern looking. Had a way with words that I don't understand.
Huh. He turns around again and starts continuing to walk forwards. Weird party. He eventually brings you guys to a door, and he like doom 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 knocks on it. Like his knocking is hefty, and you hear a voice from the side go, "Open up!" as Lucien opens up the door and gestures for you guys to walk inside.
All right. Well, I walk inside with swagger.
Hey, y'all.
I walk inside.
Lucien walks in behind y'all and closes the door. Hey, boss. These two said that they had an arrangement to meet with y'all. One of them said that he already has met with you. Found it kind of strange. I figured you should know before I tried killing them. The dwarven boss, too, like, turns in his chair as he, like, looks at you guys, and he's like, I remember you, bird.
Hi. How's the beard?
It's Bearden. Yeah. And you, I don't know who you are, I don't think. Do I?
It's Averin.
Hello.
Well, I was hoping to talk with you about an acquaintance back in my part of town. It's a weird time to forget where I live. I know it's the slums, but it's weird.
Citadel, the slums, Helios.
In the Citadel, I don't know the geography of this place very well. In the Citadel, a man named Tommy, you might know him.
That two rotten tooth-faced son of a bitch. I vaguely remember him.
Yes, well, he was hoping to... trying to remember the business terms here. I can imagine it in my mind.
Set up relations.
Make a
die horribly.
connection.
Make a connection, that was it. My brain is being weird today.
A negative one from Bill really shows your entire party at the moment is the brain is not working too hard.
Look, sometimes you need the Berber rather than the Kachu.
Yeah. Well, Tommy was hoping to set up a connection with this lovely establishment you have here.
Well, my good
Listen.
fellow, lady, kind of caught me at a bad time, as I'm trying to really work around some kinks in the system. What is he offering exactly?
Did Tommy offer any? Out of character. Did Tommy offer anything?
He
Or
essentially
did he
told
actually
you
just-
to just do your best to make a connection in any way you deem necessary.
Goodness. Okay. Well, this could end up really bad for Tommy. Like
Probably,
if I
yeah,
actually
you know.
if I actually offer whatever you want, I don't care about what happens to Tommy. Well, that would depend on what
Offers
you
a
want
special
exactly. I can
Well,
offer any-
kiddo, I ain't got a whole lot that I'm really needing at the moment besides, war to end, guards, I guess.
Was
Ain't
that
got
the
too
kinks
much
that
I
you were
need.
trying? Was that the kinks that you're trying to sort out related to the war?
At the moment, yeah. The war continues on as it has the last couple decades. We're gonna be right in the crossfire if they decide to head south for any reason in particular. Maybe the realms up north have gotten too tired and sour. Maybe they like the day-night cycle. Who knows? But if they come down here, we're gonna take a beating real hard. So I ain't got a whole lot I can do besides that. So I've been working on fortifying the area, making sure what's the word? Making sure my properties stay my properties, and making sure that my ring goes in a circle like it should, not broken.
Yes. Well, I find, from what I can tell, that if you collaborate with Tommy, you might be able to sort things out. He could help protect you from whatever may come.
Oh, how would he protect me, huh? Does he got any
Yes,
sort of mystic magics that I don't know about?
Yes, actually,
Oh.
he does. Yes. Well, he
I'm listening.
He has some very powerful mystic artifacts that he could use to protect your establishment here. Perhaps he could set up some sort of mystical force field or some mystical. I personally am not familiar exactly with how the magic works, but I have seen it for myself.
You want to roll me a deception on that one?
So
I don't know how it
strange.
works, but I have seen it.
I have seen it for myself, and it is astounding.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, he has like a +6 modifier. He can't beat that. As he's like leaning forwards and he's like, oh, mystical magical force field sound right up my alley. It sounds like something I could use to protect my town, huh? Well, that sounds like an interesting bargaining tip. What's that, Allie?
You sound like Gilmore for a second.
Gilmore? Which one's Gilmore?
The merchant from Vox.
Oh, Sean?
No. Anyway.
I remember him later. But yeah, he like leans forward as he like taps his fingers together. That sounds like an interesting proposition. But unfortunately, my dear lady, while I do like that idea, and while I do believe that you do in fact have that idea, that he does have that wonderful force field, I can't quite take things at face value now, can I? How do I know that you ain't just gonna leave and then be like, oh, I got myself a big bag of money and I ain't gonna take it to him, you know? How do I know that you're able to establish this connection between the two of us so I can get my sweet, sweet force field? God, that sounds good right now.
Well, okay, wait, hold on. Trying to figure, is he asking like how you can verify that what I'm saying is the truth, or like?
He wants to know how he can guarantee that you will get this connection done with Tommy, because he wants his force field.
Something's weirdly clicking.
He wants this force field, and he wants to make sure you can get him this force field that you've now talked about.
Yeah. Well, you see, how do you think I've got here from so far away?
You walk through my doors.
I meant transport myself from an entirely different section of the continent to here.
You can transport yourself?
Yes, in fact, I used the mystical magical artifact that Tommy has in order to teleport myself to your lovely establishment.
Oh man, another deception check.
Come on, don't fail me now.
14.
That is amazing.
Let me.
Oof, what?
That one he ain't believing as much. He's like, hey, why didn't you just teleport into my room then?
I had to get through your guards. They weren't exactly going to let me in here without, being verified.
You could just
simply
skip the guards.
No, if I had simply teleported here, like, past the guards, then you might have mistaken me as some sort of intruder that you were talking about, see? Someone that could have just came in here, weapons ablazing.
We are protecting against that, it's true.
Exactly.
We ain't gotten your point across. You know what? Alright, fair enough. So you're gonna be able to teleport back to Tommy then?
Of course.
I see. So, Bird, have you managed to find that folk?
Oh, yeah, we found them. So, going to poison the council of the Citadel.
Weird way
Well,
of going
not
about it,
exact.
but alright.
Well, not exactly poison. We're gonna give them a disease. By the way, keep track of your folks. They plan to try to use the disease to kill the orcs, but there could be repercussions. So we're trying to stop them from doing that currently. The council.
Ah.
Oh yeah, the other person I was traveling with is in a coma right now, being held by a lady called Mrs. Claus.
How'd you put her in a coma?
She ate something, I think. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, that makes
She ate.
sense. Yeah.
She ate, I think, a magical cup in something like that.
Hmm.
But
She
I've
was a
gotten a
goblin,
contact.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
The other, what was his name again? The resistance people got into contact with them, helping them out currently. I forgot. What did you want us to do there again?
I want you to hunt down somebody.
Can you give me the name again?
His name was Shaky. Well, he goes by a bunch of different
Oh.
acronyms. That's just the one that
Ooh.
we had the most information on.
Oh. Well, I did meet him. He proceeded to follow the merchant band that's been running around.
It's a merchant band.
Yeah, there's a, well, not merchant band, a traveling band of bards. Sorry.
Oh, traveling band of bards.
Yeah,
I
he's
vaguely heard
currently,
stories of them as of recent.
yeah, he's with them currently, as far as I've heard.
Well, you've done me a great service, my boy. What would you like in exchange?
Hmm. Random question for you.
Yes.
What can you offer? Because I have no idea. I kind of just do whatever.
Well, I'm in the business of making deals and playing the high prices and the high rules. He looks at Averin, as you can tell from my conversation with this young lady. So really, I can offer you most things that your tiny bird heart may desire.
What kind of
Except for
prices
world
do they-
peace. We haven't quite gotten there yet.
Don't worry, I'm working on that one. You wouldn't happen to have any magical items that would help in getting from one place to another, i.e. stealthily, to possibly, I don't know, slip something into someone's drink to cause them to contract a disease that may or may not be extremely lethal.
Ooh, don't quite know if I have one of those. He kind of like turns around and he starts like rummaging across his desk, and like you see him throw a couple of things to the side, and he finally grabs something. He turns around and he hands it to you, and it's a tiny dagger. He's like, "This little dagger here has a small compartment for dispensing liquids. Technically speaking, it's a magical item, pretty neat, but essentially it will always return back to your hand whenever you do need it, and it can dispense liquid, any liquid that you put inside of it."
That'll work. Thank you. This will go a long way to making that world peace you're talking about.
Kind of concerns me that you be saying that, but that's alright. So,
To be fair, the job you sent me on, I kind of pauses for. I usually count on his finger. I met a 1, 5, 3, 2. I met a few people who are trying to cause world peace, and question for you: any news about orcs that you have, by any chance?
orcs. Well, if I had the teleportation power of this little lady, then maybe I'll be able to tell you more. But at the moment that we know of, we ain't got a whole lot of information. We spend a lot of time with the goblins, and they lead us down a couple of paths. You know, they walk us around a couple of places. You're not getting any of that, are you? No. All right.
Here, as Bill writes down Mrs. Claus's name, hands him a piece of paper. Send some of your folk to this lady. Do her a few favors, and she'll do you a few favors, if you know what I'm saying.
All right, cool.
She can teleport.
Fascinating. Yeah, for the most part, the orcs that we've gotten news about, we've gotten news that they are readying their forces. Still gonna take them a while, but they are prepping. A couple have gotten sick as of recent, but we're not quite sure with what. Might be a cold, considering they're in the frozen wastes. But it's rather rare that an orc might get sick, so we're seeing how that flows down so far. That's about much information I got. If you could do me a favor, though, little... what was her name again?
Bill.
Little Bill. Then you can always go to the orcs. Find out what's going on there. Give us some more impromptu information,
Well, if you got things like this, if you got random decent items rolling around, I might as well just do that.
I
To be
can
fair,
certainly try
I sh-
finding some for you.
Then I will head my way there as soon as I can.
Nice. Alright, Miss... what was her name again?
Averin?
Miss Averin, if you're able to do that wonky-donkey teleportation stuff, which, oh, hopefully you're able to, then, making a connection with Tommy ain't gonna be too hard, now will it?
No problem at all.
Cool. Well, he kind of reaches into his desk and pulls out a paper and slaps it down. Next time you see Tommy, make it within the week if you would. Next time you see Tommy, feel free to give him this. This is a trade establishment between two of us. I'll be sending a couple folks over to the slums probably in next week or so. See if I can establish that connection with them. See if I can do that 1-2 free for all, see if I can get that connection going. And we'll see where it goes from there. And let me tell you, my dear lady, don't ever cross me. If you're lying, you won't be for long.
I would not dream of it.
Good, we're on the
Anything
same
else?
page.
Alright,
Well,
I
that's
take
all
it.
then.
Mhm.
Get the fuck out of my room.
Bye, Mr. Fabulous Beard.
Goodbye, good sir.
Fairest thee of wells. I take
Yeah.
the little trade establishment thing.
Nice. And just for the viewers to know, he was in fact a rather short dwarf. He had what looks to be some gray going through his hair and a beard that went all the way down to his thighs. He was a very thick bearded dwarf.
If that's honestly,
but
I
yes.
want this guy to just be named Ankle Biter.
But yes, y'all exit back into the main room of the establishment. I don't remember what the Dragonborn's name was. Lucius, I think it was. So Lucius kind of guides you guys back out to the main area, and he's like, well, the boss didn't seem to kill you, so I won't be. Feel free to take your lot on the this establishment we have here. If not, my best suggestion for you would be go back to Donkey's Tavern. It's #1 place that tends to have most people there. He'll be able to tell you anything else you need to know. We ain't really in the area for telling people stuff. Information ain't our gig. At least, not ours. Big Boss tends to be the information broker. But if you want to talk to someone for information, go talk to Donkey. He'll tell you everything you need to know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end it right there, and we're going to pick off back in the bar with Donkey next episode. If you guys are interested in seeing that or seeing the rest of our content, feel free to hit that follow button. We're going to be going live next week, Friday, 7 p.m. PST, as well as possibly tomorrow if we have the ability to, although we're still getting stuff in line with homework and living situation and everything like that, so we might leave that for another week, depending on a few factors. But if you guys want to see the previous episodes of this, the other 28 episodes, go to Tables of Tartarus, where we have all those. Or if you guys want to go check out our general VODs, which we do throughout the week, feel free to check out Vods of Valhalla. Alright, have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see all of you fine folks next week. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.